Hello everybody. We are going to speak today about accelerated learning. I'm glad to introduce you a great trainer with big heart and big passion, huge passion, Blair Singer.
Thank you.
I would like to say thank you for your time.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
To be here. Blair, I have a question about, could you tell a little bit about yourself first and about your trainers?
Sure.
Trainings.
Yeah, like most people, I went through a public school system that really did its best to teach me the skills that I would need for life, you know, how to read, how to write, how to communicate, those types of things. But once I got out of university, I realized that I was not really that well prepared for the real world, particularly the world of money and business and relationships. And so I started going to programs to try to learn more. I took supplemental programs. When I went to work for a large corporation, I learned how to sell. They taught me how to sell. I went to personal development programs, taught me how to deal with my emotions and how to deal with psychology. And along the way, I realized that I came across other styles of teaching that seemed to work really well, where I was able to learn a very lot in a very short period of time. And it turns out that one of my teachers many years ago had studied with a fellow by the name of Giorgio Lazanov. He was originally from Bulgaria. And he coined a term of teaching, or a term of learning called suggestopedia, which means that everything in a learning environment suggests something. Learning is not neutral. It's either adding to the learning experience or it's detracting from the learning experience. In other words, if the temperature is too cold in the room, it's distracting. If the temperature is too warm, people fall asleep. If the teacher's angry, then the student doesn't concentrate. So if the student is confused, they can't learn. So I began studying how do we learn, and it was a whole field of study called accelerated learning, which we use in our programs, been using for the last 25 years, helping people increase sales 15 to 85% in a matter of a few weeks, being able to heal relationships in a matter of moments, being able to visualize their dreams and actually achieve them in a very short period of time based upon the education. So there's two parts to it as far as I'm concerned. The first part is that education is not information. In school, they give you enough information that's supposed to be education. But unless you can apply it, unless you can use it, it's not education. Education, in my mind, from my experience, is what we call transformation. It's taking that information and actually applying it and making a change to your life, making more money, building a better business, having better health, building better relationships, your family, whatever that is. So education is a process of transformation. Accelerated learning allows you to do that in a very short period of time, i.e. accelerated. It's based upon the premise that you have a right brain and a left brain. Yes. And left brain thinking. In other words, you have certain logic, linear words, things that your brain can absorb. But the right hemisphere of your brain also pays attention to color, music, emotion, feelings. Yes. And what Lozano found out many years ago, if you could combine the two, then the amount of information that you could remember and obtain and retain jumped very significantly. So whenever we teach, we use color, we use numbers, but we use color with the numbers. We use experiences with the teaching. So that what happens is the student has a full-bodied experience. It's not just intellectual, not just words going into the left brain. Is what happens is we talk about selling, we actually sell. So then we talk about what's actually happening, and so we discuss the emotional reaction, the intellectual reaction, the operational reaction.
You learn directly.
Yes.
You don't wait for.
Yeah. It's not like I'm going to read it and then try to apply it. No, accelerated learning means we're going to learn it very quickly, and we're going to learn it by doing it and having an experience or a simulation of it. Yes. A fellow by the name of Edgar Dale many years ago created something called the cone of experience. And the cone of experience is based upon the fact that we learn, if you imagine a cone, that at the base of the cone, the greatest learning, the broadest area of learning is doing the real thing. When you go out and you build a business, or you lose money, or you make money, you learn a lot in that moment. Second to that would be a simulation of doing that. At the very top, where the very least amount of retention is reading or listening to somebody talk, because we don't remember that much because we haven't applied it. So my definition of accelerated learning is a combination of right brain, left brain, experience, emotion, what I call little voice mastery, managing the self-talk in your head, all the things that stand in the way. Because I can teach you how to make money, but if your emotion, if you have fear, I don't care how many times I show you how to make a sale or how many times I show you how to invest, it's not going to work if your fear is still stopping you. So school never taught you to deal with that. It only teaches you some of the logistics. So like I said, accelerated learning is designed to make it also fun, engaging, participatory. See, the word education comes from the word educe, which means to draw out of, not to cram into.
Yeah.
Education traditionally is pushing information down and remember it and regurgitate on a test. But really, education, the spirit of education is drawing forth, pulling the information from the student. So the way we teach accelerated learning is we give you them the experience and then we pull the lessons from them so that they learn on their own. And that's why it's lifelong learning, and you can remember it for the rest of your life. As opposed to, it's transformation, if you can apply it. So again, there's many aspects to it, and there's lots of techniques that go along with it. I mean, more than we could spend days talking about that. But I think what people need to know that there is an alternative for education. What you learn in school, what you learn in school is important to learn, but the way you learn in school is not the best way to learn. And that system is designed many years ago for a different purpose and a different time. We live in an information world. We live in an internet world where things happen very quickly. And you need to be able to deal with more complexity in a very short period of time.
Yes.
That's what's required. And otherwise, you're under stress all the time. Your brain is capable of it, and most people are very capable. So in our programs, we always create scenarios to allow people to experience how big they can be and how much they can experience and how much complexity they can have. So once you get that win, and then we give them the tools so that they can carry that on when they keep going. But I think that the big message about accelerated learning is that there is a different way to learn. Education is not necessarily just what you learn in school.
Yes.
And I think everybody can be a great teacher. I think in order to be a leader, you have to be a teacher. Teachers are leaders. I think if you're going to run a business, you've got to be a leader, but you also have to know how to teach.
Yes.
And that's be able to pass information and experience onto other people in an accelerated fashion, using color, music, experience, right brain, left brain, personal development, emotion, all those things combined in a beautiful menu and a beautiful recipe in a closed environment, typically.
In a class.
In a class or out on the street, as long as there's a mentor or a coach to coach people along the way.
Yes.
And what you get is you get magnificent results in a very short period of time. Whether you're dealing with 5-year-old children or 50-year-old adults, it works across the board. So I'm a big believer in accelerated learning, and I travel around the world, about 25 different countries, teaching business owners and business leaders of some of the major companies in the world how to teach and how to lead and how to sell and how to build championship teams. But it's all based upon that accelerated learning style.
Thank you very much, Blair. I have one more question to you. I'm a language teacher, and after your program, Train the Trainer, my lesson that they are different.
You were teaching differently.
Yes, I'm teaching differently. And I work at this moment, I work with a group of teachers.
Yes.
And it's very big difference when you begin do it another way.
Right.
And what is the first step? Would you like to give some advice? What is most important when you begin to change how you teach?
All right. I would just say this. I'm not big on giving advice, but what I would say is if you're going to be a great teacher, you need to be willing to learn. Okay, a lot of times I've encountered teachers that have credentials or whatever, but they're not, they want to learn, but they don't really want to learn. They want more information, but they don't want the transformation. And so I would say this, for a teacher that really wants to be a great teacher, become a great student again. Learn how to learn how to teach, be willing, be open and receptive to all the possibilities, because really a teacher holds the ability to give people their dreams. Yes. And that's a big responsibility. Yes. I believe that teaching is the noblest, most important, most revered profession that a human being can have. Greater than that of a heart surgeon. Because a heart surgeon can give a person their life back, but a teacher can give a person their life back. They can give them their dreams. Every indigenous culture throughout history, the most revered special person in the tribe was not necessarily the warrior chief. It was the teacher, the medicine man, the shaman, whatever, that pass on the body of knowledge to the next generation. So I would say the first piece of advice is, if you're a teacher and you want to be a great teacher, is to immerse yourself in learning about accelerated learning about different teaching styles and methodologies, and just become excited about learning all of that. If you do that, your courses will automatically start to change. And more than the techniques, what's going to happen is your students are going to feel your excitement. They're going to feel like you're learning with them. What I love about teaching, and I wrote it down in my gratitude exercise this morning, is I'm grateful that I get to learn while I'm teaching. I get to learn from my students. Yes. Because remember, the information, the learning comes from them. Yes. I just facilitate the process, but the learning comes there.
Yes, that's my experience too.
Good.
Students that teachers.
Yes. Okay. So thank you for doing this. I appreciate being asked these questions, and hopefully it'll inspire more teachers to be great teachers.
To Holland.
Very good. Well, hello. I've never been to Holland, but hopefully I'll see you someday. I'll be there someday. Thank you very much, and thank you so much for doing it. And by the way, congratulations on a great job today.
Thank you.
Thank you.